Yeah, it's a bit dark, isn't it? Don't worry. The sky's starting to lighten, but it's a little bit spooky here right now. Well, folks, they were cockatoos, and they are noisy. I don't think you need to refresh, Sandy. I think it's my end. It's quite dark, and it will get progressively lighter. We're due to start in just under a minute. I'm hoping to make it back to the little bridge that I crossed in time to start. Turn the camera around. You might not be able to see me, but it will get progressively lighter. So as I said, I've been starting my tours for the last 3 mornings at 6 o'clock. And the first morning it was beautiful. It was light. We could clearly see the dawn. Let's see if you can see me at all. There we go. You can. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, so we've just ticked over 6 a.m. here in Sydney. We're standing on a trail that circuits the Narrabeen Lake, and the bird activity is quite astounding this morning. Really, that's what we're here for. So it will get lighter. I know it's dark. We're going to press on. So before we begin, I would just like to acknowledge that we're meeting this morning on the traditional lands of the Garigal people and pay respect to their elders, past, present and emerging. And on that note, let's listen to these noisy cockatoos while I greet the new people that have just joined. Over there in the background is the lake, and that's where we're headed towards. All right, so who has joined? Let me see. I said good morning, Joanne, I believe. Good morning, Sky, Beatrice, TD. Those loud birds, Carla, they're white cockatoos, sulphur-crested cockatoos. So when you think they're sitting in a cage being very quiet and cute, this is what they're like in real life. And yesterday, I'm not sure if we're going to get to see it this morning because it is still so dark, but I'm hoping that we'll actually see the one that seems to have a nest in a hollow quite high. But he was crazy noisy, or maybe it was a she. Morning, Catherine. Good morning, Eloise. Hi, Mark. Hi, Faith. Louise, Sarah, Patrice, Michelle, Kate, Tanya. Hi, I've got a great crowd this morning. And that's the whipbird that you can hear. The twittering, I think, is a red-browed finch. And again, I saw some of those really close to the track yesterday morning. So let's hope that by the time we get round to that point where I saw them, it will have lightened up enough to see some activity. But at the moment, we're just listening to them. The beautiful sound. There, that's a bit lighter. Look at that. Looks really spooky, doesn't it? That might be the hollow up there. Let me see. I'm not going to go scooting upwards with the camera until I'm sure. Okay, there's one quite high, perched right at the top of the tree. It was going to be difficult for me to get the camera up there at this point. Hi, Marion. Hi, JS. So as you can see, it is starting to get lighter. Dolores, good morning. So it's rainforest around these parts. So we have lots of ferns at ground level. Hi, Louisa. Hi, Joel. Some parts of this trail, it might be the bits that were behind me. I can't remember in the dark. Actually remind me of vision I've seen of like Louisiana swamplands. Very close foliage. See, this is opening up a bit more. Ah, look at that. We can see. I told you it would happen. Patrice, it's an overcast, cloudy morning. It was actually sprinkling when I started. So 2 days ago at this time of day, it was light. We were down at the beach. Of course, the forest makes it darker as well. Hi, Anita. Hi, AJ. So at this point here, I'll explain. I won't be stopping and looking at them, but there's a trail of markers describing our involvement in war and military activity, basically since Federation. And the reason for that is that we are very close to a war veterans retirement village. So this is, and I'll actually show you quite where I parked in the retirement village that butts onto this trail. So every one of these signposts here describes our involvement in military activity. I'll just stop and pause at this one and let's see what this one's about. So this one's about East Timor. It says 1999 to 2000 and then 2000 to ongoing. And it describes the colony of East Timor, how we became involved, a bit of a history of how the country was defined over those years. And it says Australia has continued to support the UN peacekeeping operation with between 1,500 and 2,000 personnel, as well as landing craft and Black Hawk helicopters. Australia remains the largest contributor of personnel to the goal of peace in East Timor. So that this gives you an idea of what this trail is about. That was number 28 in a trail of plaques describing our various military involvements since Federation. Federation of Australia was on the 1st of January 1900. So as a country, we've only been going just over 100 years. I haven't heard a magpie yet, but you may have. There are magpies here. We can actually get a glimpse at the moment from here. Oh, there's a runner going by. Wait on. Good morning. We get a glimpse of the lake in the background there. I promised you lake and we will get lake. At the moment, we're just following a trail that runs alongside it, but we will get very close to it. Not too long from now. Hi, Mary Lou. Did I miss anybody? I probably did. Yeah, Mary Lou. Hi, Louise. Got a misty look. If there's mist, there's not much of it, but it's probably just a combination of it being overcast and the forest is making it quite dark. We've got to watch out for puddles. It rained last night and it's been raining this morning. Good morning, Jane. Who else is there? Good morning, Norman. That was a good wet bird call. So for those who aren't familiar, I see a lot of familiar faces, but I think I saw some names I don't recognise. The whipbird is actually two calls. Although I didn't hear don't trip over. I didn't hear the end bit that time. There's the long call that ends in like a whip crack, and it's usually followed by a little trill. The long call is the male, and the little trill that follows it is the female. Now I haven't been hearing. Maybe they're calling for females. maybe the girls aren't around right now. Hi, Wendy. Who else came along? Hi, Ava. And hi, Hillary. So this is a great example of the cabbage tree palm. Some of you would have seen if you were on my Stony Range tour a couple of days ago. And this whole area is, they're endemic. It's common throughout this area, the cabbage tree palm. There's quite a tall one there, right up there. There's those cockies again. Oh, I can hear some frogs. So this is where the trail comes right up close to the RSL War Veterans Home. Sandy, that's a white cockatoo. So when you see the pretty sulphur-crested white cockatoo in your pet shop or in a cage in someone's home, being very quiet, not doing much, this is what they normally sound like. They're noisy buggers. So the screeching noise was the cockatoo, and the whip sound is the whip bird. That's where I parked, just alongside that building there. Hi, Sarah. Okay. Around about this point yesterday, I think it was that unit there were 3 or 4 kookaburras landed on the balcony rail. So I reckon they must be feeding them. They were calling, laughing quite loudly. So it was almost like they were demanding dinner. All right, so usually about this time, someone asks me what the temperature is. It's about 12 degrees at the moment, which is quite pleasant compared to what we've been having. And it's the 26th. It's 27th. I get my days mixed up lately. Hi, Laura. Did I say hi, Sarah? I think I might have. Okay, so here we are walking alongside the lake at the moment. Thanks, Sandy. I'm not very good at the conversions. So it's the 27th of August, which means we're coming to the end of an Australian winter. It's around about 14 degrees, as I said, and Sandy kindly converted that for me to Fahrenheit. Let's pop in and actually have a look. Our first glimpse of the lake. Oh, I do that too, Sandy. You don't have to admit to that. We all do. Okay. So we're at the western end of the lake. Lake, lagoon, used interchangeably. It flows out into the sea at North Narrabeen Head and is fed by three main creeks. We have South Creek, which is the one we just crossed. Did we just cross that, or was that just a little... No, South Creek's coming up. We're going to be heading to Middle Creek, and if we continued along the trail, it would take us to Deep Creek. Let me just pop over here and get you a nice reflection shot. There we go, nice spot for a postcard with the reflection there. Hi, Sabina. There's a calculation I know, Una. You take the centigrade, or Celsius, you multiply it by 9, divide it by 5, then add 32. It's for anyone who wants to give that a go. All right, I think we should keep on walking, but there's a really nice colour happening over on the sky over there. And just around the bend, there's a stand of, I think they're native grasses or even bulrushes maybe. Another nice reflection. There we go. Now that, I think, was a currawong, if you just heard that. Okay, let's keep walking. We're going to see lots more like this, but we need to get to a great spot to see it. We're also going to cross a couple of bridges, past a golf course. I actually have my fingers crossed. I don't know if we have kangaroos on this golf course, but golf courses are popular spots for kangaroos. Now, I looked up the term Narrabeen because I was asked yesterday what the words Warriewood, Torremeta and Narrabeen mean. I recalled sitting in a cafe at about the age of 10 or 12, maybe younger, when we first moved to the area. So that would have been the 1960s. So 1960s Australian cafe. That's a whole other tour. Our memories of the 1960s and what you would have gotten at 1960s cafe. But moving on, very clearly on the wall was painted a picture of a black swan, and it said that was what the word Narrabeen translated to. But when I looked it up, there's so many different stories. There's another story of some convicts who had escaped, and they were terrorising local residents of the area, and a young girl by the name of Narrabeen helped the soldiers capture the convicts. Now, that's an interesting story, but I don't think it's been ever validated. So who actually knows? The Black Swan story sounds interesting, that's for sure. And of course, we do get lots of black swans. just not right now. Oh, good morning, doggos. Happy doggos going on a walk. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to show you this. And this is a mosquito prone area. And I saw another sign yesterday. Was it this one maybe? Oh no, that's something else. Trees and branches may be dangerous due to storm damage. But I saw another sign yesterday that indicated that Ross River virus had been detected in this area. So I don't want to be bitten. I'm well covered, only my hands and face are showing, so who did I miss? Good morning, Ronnie Lynn. I didn't see you hop on. Oh, there you are. Is it humid there? Yes, always. Well, nearly always. Summer this year was particularly humid because we had a lot of rain. The temperatures didn't get as high as normal, but the humidity was really difficult. Hi, Elizabeth. Who else have we got? Mosquitoes love me. Yeah. Okay, so there was a local resident that one of these bridges that we'll come up to has been named for, who advocated constantly and strongly and vociferously for this trail to be built. And it was finally completed in 2016. Thanks, Trista. Most of the trail is wheelchair friendly. Certainly a long section of it is, Amy. There are sections of it where I first started out that are a little bit rocky and would be a challenge for wheelchair users. Let me just show you what the lake looks like from here because it's really pretty through the grasses and trees. Let's find a spot where I can actually zoom into. Here we go. Let's try that. It could be mist rising over there, but I'm really not sure. I'm O positive as well, Wendy. And this is a lovely change from the last 2 days where I've been doing nothing but steps. How nice is it to have a flat path? So it looks like we've left cockatoo territory. And we're starting to hear more of the small birds. There's a lovely seat that's been placed here. And again, a really pretty view through the grasses of the lake. And never fear, we're going to get right down waterside very soon. So here's one of the new bridges, which is absolutely fabulous. We weren't able to do a complete circuit of the lake until very recently. And yesterday was the first time I'd actually walked along this section of the trail. I'm loving all your mosquito and blood type theories. I have no idea. I just let you guys chat it out on the blood type business. All right, so this is the first lovely bridge which crosses South Creek. So up to the left here we can see this creek actually goes up into an area of Sydney called Cromer. And there's the Kookaburras. Thank you, Wendy. And here's where the creek meets the lake. Hi, Barbara. Zoom in on that. And that hillside over there is Eleanor Heights, and that's where I grew up. We used to have a view of the lake when we first moved in. Oh, did you ask me just as I'm answering you, Sandy? Yes. So Eleanor Heights, that's where I grew up. Hello, good morning. I've got a little gorgeous little boxer, is he? He's beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, he's not real happy at me because I talked to him. Bye. He came along to check me out, and then I replied. I said hello, and he went, "Oh, don't know about that. You're not supposed to do that." Oh, I'm still zoomed in. Get that up. Yeah, so from the age of 10 till when I moved out of home, that's where I used to live. We used to have a view of the lake until the trees grew. My brother complained bitterly because his bedroom overlooked the view. But now, tree removal to improve the view is a real problem in Sydney. I don't know if others in other parts of the world experience that, but people try to improve their property values by improving the view by doing things like poisoning trees. Yeah, I just don't understand it, Jane. There was actually a situation in Balmain, I believe, where a neighbour used industrial strength poison and actually attacked the entire property in front of him. Everything on that property was poisoned. So in some parts of Sydney and even on the south coast, I've seen big banners go up. So the council have installed steel poles and huge canvas banners, and written across it says, trees removed in this area. So it backfired badly on the person who removed the trees. Hi, Ariane. I can't read that. Is it Arlene? I'm sorry. And what did I miss, Monique? Let me see. Many trees taken down in my neighbourhood in the last decade to improve views and reduce risk of trees falling on houses. Yeah, tree fall is another thing entirely, isn't it? And and that comes back to people need to be educated on the right trees to plant in the first place. We're just going past the golf course here. I was really hoping that we might see early morning kangaroos, but no. Obviously, this is not a spot for kangaroos. What's that over there? It's too hard to see through the fence and the trees anyway. No, it's not looking promising, guys. Kangaroos love golf courses typically because it's a large, wide expanse of open space and grass, which is the type of terrain that they love. All right, we have a lovely little willy wagtail up here in this tree. Let me give you the shot of the view first, and then I'll zoom in. Okay, let's zoom in on this willy wagtail. I don't know, because it's only tiny and it's a little bit far. But listen to that call. I love them. Here we go. And we don't have a sunrise, but we do have at least light and reflections over the lake. So 1 from 3. Oh, here he is. He's right down on the path. Hang on. He's going to show off his tail to us. It's called a willy wagtail, Sandy. And he's showing us why he's called that. I'm zoomed in quite close, so I'm being careful about my movement. Oh, there he goes. Now, it wouldn't surprise me at all, given the type of area that we're located in, if there's some kind of deterrent exercised on this golf course to keep wildlife off the greens. I am guessing that the last thing they would want is lots of poop. Atlanta has been known since it was first established as a city in a forest, and the forest has been disappearing at a rapid pace in recent years as the population has been increasing rapidly. Isn't that the constant battle between civilization and nature? It's really sad. People say that it's in the name of progress. I disagree. Okay, let's see. Can we get close? This is wet grass I'm tramping through here. Hi, Russ. I should probably discourage it, shouldn't I? There's a bike coming by. Fabulous path for bike riding along here. Oh, look over this side. This is looking quite lovely too. Hi, Christine. Oh, that's a relief. Thank you, Adrian. Oh, dear. You had me worried for a moment. Gee. Probably electric fences, Sandy. That would be the only thing I can think of. Thanks, Christine. Oh, thanks, Carla. That's because I'm an old person who can't climb mountains and do hang gliding and all the sorts of things that Hugh in Vietnam does. I offer that counterbalance. That sort of caroling song, I think, was a Karawong. Yes, Monique, we have beautiful bird sounds and then we have cockatoos. Lake or lagoon? I think the term is used interchangeably, but my understanding is that a lake forms inland, whereas a lagoon flows into the sea. This is, if that's the definition, then this is a lagoon. But we call it the Narrabeen Lake. Hi, Katie. Let's keep looking at the lake. Monique, I hear you. There's just cramming too many people into cities now. Where I was living in Homebush, they had expanded the height limit on apartment building from 9 floors to 25 floors, without doing very much to deal with traffic and parking and all those other issues as well. So at this point here, what we're passing is the Academy of Sport. This is the Sydney Academy of Sport and Recreation. A lot of our elite athletes come here to do training. So this is the archery range. Also, schools use this place for camps. And there's this is like a rowing. Sorry, I was just letting someone past. This is sort of like a rowing, what would you call it? A place where they launched the rowing from. Yes, you can walk around the entire lake, but only recently. Let's go over here and tramp through the mud and check this out. Hi, Sue. I nearly walked straight past it. There, that's so pretty. Who needs a sunrise? All you need is a pretty sky. Tea tree is amazing stuff, and so is Manuka honey, which comes from a variety of tea tree. Oh, hello there, you're back. No, he's too quick. He just came over to check me out. There's that boxer again. That came over to give me a sniff. There. All right, one last look at the lake from this point before we move on again. Let's go. Let's lean over here. Might be able to walk on these sandstone blocks. Let's go. There we go. Oh, I'm so happy we got a smooth, calm surface too. That just really adds to the experience, doesn't it? Barely a ripple. Well, by the sound of them, I'd say they're cockatoos. We're going to head. Oh no, we're actually not going to head by there because that's part of the academy, the sports academy. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. Yeah, I'm thinking they're cockatoos. we'll get closer to that building, but we can't go actually near it because it's part of the sports academy. And it's fenced off. So we go over a bridge and we'll be able to see that building from the bridge. I don't know. What are your thoughts on elite sport, everyone? You may have noticed recently that there was Commonwealth Games. Australia won lots of medals. For a population of 26 million, it's always considered such a wonderful achievement, amazing achievement. Australia wins lots of gold. I have mixed thoughts on that. A lot of money is pumped into winning lots of medals. Of course, we're known as a sporting nation, and that's fantastic. But it has to be reflected, in my opinion, throughout all communities. That money has to flow down to the grassroots, entry level, children. It has to be distributed among groups that need sport for their health, for their well-being, not just purely and exclusively given to elite sport. That's my view. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on investment in elite sport for national pride, as it were, which is really what it is? So this is all part of the Academy of Sport. We've got a climbing wall here. Elite sports, in my view, are anything where it's the top level. It's the ones that could be champions, medal winners, the ones that attract lots of sponsorship money. But that only, once upon a time, these people might have been considered amateurs and weren't allowed to earn an income. So we have this sort of thing adorning the bridge. So it is highlighting one of the activities on the lake is canoeing. It's on the other side. Oh, that's canoes as well. And this is the path that belongs to the Academy of Sport. Listen to them. Here they go. I'm getting all the wrong angles, aren't I? I literally got buzzed. So that was where they were. Those were the white birds that you asked me about. They were down along that path there at that shed over there. The guy on the fence. Oh, is this what you mean? That's windsurfing. And the previous one was canoeing. Yeah, here we go. There's another windsurfing. Sports, fabulous. Totally agree. Sports is necessary. It's fabulous that we have pride in our sports people. I just think that the money should be more fairly distributed through the community as well and encourage participation at entry level. There we go. Anyway, that's just my opinion. That's pretty. I saw one last cockatoo at that shed. I wonder if did he miss the memo? We all went that way, guys. Commonwealth Games was fabulous, and but don't you think that we won a disproportionate number of events as Australia? Our population is almost the same as Canada, and when you compared the two on the medal tally, there was a vast difference. Canada dominates the. Thank you, Carla. Canada dominates the winter sports. I know that, but even then, we don't do too bad. Anyway, that's me finished for soapboxing. Yeah, there's the balance, isn't it? The UK could potentially invest more money in sport, but again, it has to start at the grassroots level. They can't just go around buying medals for national pride. Alrighty, let's get round to this is the person I was telling you about. Thanks, Anita. Can't figure curling. Okay, so the Jim Somerville Bridge. This bridge is named in honour of Jim Somerville and his passion for the local environment. Jim was highly influential in making the completion of the trail possible by lobbying and ultimately securing an agreement with the Minister for Sport to cross Middle Creek, which is the one we just crossed. He was a strong advocate for the protection of Narrabeen Lagoon and worked tirelessly to link people and ideas for the benefit of the broader community. There we go. So that's the person who the bridge is named after. Some lovely spots for picnicking or just for sitting along the lake. Did I answer the question about whether the trail goes all the way around? Yes, it does. That plaque actually answers that too. This is pretty. Look at the reflection here. You do well in football. So that's where your national pride is. It's in football. Wendy? And this year in Eurovision. I mean, I know you came second, but we all know why you came second. I mean, how good was that? England, not UK, England. I mean, compared with last year, we couldn't believe it. Everyone kept voting. I think, did England get 0 last year? Something ridiculous? Was that must have been a political vote as well. That was something to do with Brexit, I'm sure. And there we finally have the sun. Look. Yeah, nil point. Yeah, absolutely. Eurovision's always political. It's amazing and hilarious and fun and gorgeous and political. And we always see, the Sweden votes for Norway and Denmark votes for Finland, and you can always predict the 12 points. Yeah, I love it too. All right, let's move around to a better spot to see this sun. And Eurovision next year is being held in England. Have they picked a city yet? Not yet. I think that'd be a great reason to go to England next year. The party would be amazing. How many Hago guides are going to do Eurovision themed tours, do you think? Well, that was a pretty amazing sky, I think. Look at that. I'm going to do a full pan We'll start over here. There we go. Beautiful reflections. And we're actually standing between two major roads. It's coming up to the early morning rush hour, peak hour. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's shallow for a long way. So you can walk out. It's and ease yourself into it. This used to be a really popular place for water skiing when I first moved into the area as a child. But the lake has actually silted up. Thanks, Em. So it's quite shallow. And water skiing is no longer allowed on this lake. There actually used to be a jump ramp thing, out in the middle there. When today we have one lonely kayaker. Thank you, Lynn. Where are you? There he is. He's disappeared over there. Oh, thanks for joining me. Ronnie, my next tour, just quickly, my next tour is on Sunday, tomorrow. And I'll be at the artisan markets at the Cultural Centre in Katoomba. This is just getting better and better. I might find a spot to sit and enjoy this for a few minutes. Let's walk around this way a little. There's another spot around here that we can look at this view. Ooh. So artisan markets, midday my time, and it's part of the Winter Magic Festival, which I can't get to today. I was hoping to do the Winter Magic Festival today. Then we had to vacate our house because of the renovators who wanted to sand the floors, and they get first dibs. So if we want the work to happen, we have to do as they say. Oh, thank you, Monique. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Why do I always manage to time it with garbage collectors and grass maintenance teams, wind blowers, leaf blowers? Well, that's really bright out there now, and it's starting to rain. Let me put my umbrella up. A sun shower, everybody. To keep a lookout for a rainbow. Which direction is the rainbow going to be in? All right, at this point, the direction that I'm facing, I can't see the screen at all. So I will come back and grab your comments in a moment. That's quite blinding. So we've got light rain falling on the lake and this blinding sun. See, you should never complain. Was I complaining there was no sun this morning? I hope I wasn't complaining. Thanks, Mary Lou. Hi, Deb. You joined just at the right time, apparently. Look at this. It's gorgeous. Beautiful. Turned into an absolutely stunning morning. There's 3 more paddlers out there. I can't zoom in at the moment because I'm holding an umbrella. Now, of course, you know that I don't have to stop dead still for you to still snap away and get postcards, don't you? Because I'm just really enjoying doing this panning at the moment. I mean, even those grasses are pretty with the sun shining on them. So I don't know what you all expected when you found yourself in a dark laneway, unable to see anything when you first hopped on this morning. It must have been a bit unnerving, I'm sure. But I am going to... Oh, there's a puppy dog in the water over there. Puppy dog having a swim. I apologise, Sandy. I was trying to explain as frequently as possible, but I do realise that in between me explaining, people are jumping on and not hearing the explanation. All right, I'm going to start walking slowly back in the direction I came. We have 5 more minutes, so let's keep heading this way. We'll see the view from a different direction for the last 5 minutes of the tour. I need to start heading back because I have to meet my husband at a certain time, and so I'm running to a bit of a schedule this morning. But I'll keep that lake in focus for as long as I can. And in the meantime, look, if you need to jump off, No, that wasn't me, Monique. Aurora Borealis was Alex in Melbourne. In fact, I think no, Alex started his... What did he start this morning? 10 minutes ago. If you're all jumping off, I know that you've gone to see Alex's kangaroo spotting tour. That's right. That's where he is this morning. So it's okay. I know. I understand where you're going. It's all right. Say hi for me. No flies on me. Yes, he did this. It wasn't the actual Aurora Borealis. It was an immersive experience, and I was hoping to catch that as well, but I was so tired. I really had to get to bed because of the early morning start this morning. That's all right, Monique. It's fine. We support each other. We're not in competition. At least I like to think that. I hope I'm not living in a fool's paradise. Look at the cockatoos over here right now. They've all landed on the grass right here. Oh, Monique, Alex is very popular with the ladies. He does a lot of meditation tours as well, and he's about to do a road trip coming up through Sydney. Our paths won't cross this time. I have met him. I met him on one of Elizabeth's tours when she did a tour in Bondi, and he was up. They're not bothered, are they? They're not bothered. How close are they going to let me get to them? So here you go. You've got a choice between cockatoos or kangaroos. If you've got 2 screens open, you could have both. I literally felt the wind off that guy's wings as it went past. See, he's eyeing me off. What are you, you big blue thing? See, that's I've got the umbrella up. He's probably going, now they're different. Do you see these two? They're corellas. They're not cockatoos. I'll try and zoom in on it. Umbrella under the chin. Let's see if it turns around for us. So these ones don't have the big yellow crest. And they sound different as well. All right, let's get out of Zoom. There we go. So you've met what have we met this morning? Cockatoos, corellas. We saw a willy wagtail. I can put my umbrella down now, I think. Oh, let's complete the picture with a duck. There we go. Complete the picture with the duck. We've heard kookaburras, a boxer, absolutely. We can't forget the boxer. He's coming towards me because I'm sure he expects food. Hi, Helen. Hi, Tanya. Let's see what remains of the sun. Go over here to the bridge. We heard kookaburras. We heard currawongs. Heading back this way, if we're lucky, we may get to see. There were some birds yesterday that I haven't seen yet this morning that look a bit like cormorants or shags. But they're actually called an Australasian darter. What is it? A male mallard. Thanks, Adrian. Thank you, Monique. I've noticed you on some of my tours. I've really enjoyed your company. What else was there? The Australasian dart. That's got a long, thin neck and then a long, thin beak. So I was hoping to see some of those this morning as well. Did anybody notice right at the very beginning, I popped in to the chat 2 links to a site called eBird. And it's a site that actually, where people, call them citizen scientists if you like, people will observe birds and record their sightings. And those 2 links were specific to this location. One right at this point here where I'm standing right now, and the other one was a little further around, nearer to where I parked the car. So feel free to go back and have a look at those 2 links. Here we go. And see some of the birds that have been recorded in this location. Oh, thanks, Monique. Excellent. The two lists are going to be very similar. I mean, really, that the locations are quite close together. So you could get away with just one, or look at the map to see what else is around. There we go. Looking beautiful. This is Middle Creek. And I've just gone over the hour. So let me get off the bridge around the bend and I'll sign off. Hi, Becca. I hate it when I see people joining just as I'm finishing. I feel so guilty. Anyway, who likes raindrops? Here we go. Look, here's a raindrop shot. If I can get it. Is that in focus? I think it is. There we go. All right, let's just get over the other side of the bridge and I'll finish up. There's a couple of canoers out there, a couple of rowers. We might get them in shot before I finish up. Just getting started for the night, Becca? Well, enjoy your evening. And thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it. Oh, it started raining again. I'll get a look at this. You've got to protect your gimbal. There's someone starting a motor, which is an unexpected sound on Narrabeen Lake, I have to say. Okay, I was going to find a spot over here by the lake to say goodbye to you all. So this will do. Just as the rain's starting to get heavier. All right, let's put this umbrella over my shoulder. I might actually get down there. It's up here. Down here, waterside. Scramble over these rocks. Thanks, Alicia. All right, one last look at the sun. Let me sign off. There's a boat going out. All right, thank you all so much for joining me. I always appreciate your company. I welcome any financial contribution you are able to make, but obviously it isn't expected. If you're unable to support me financially, which, as I